Welcome to Three Count Commentary. This is your host, MagMongoSlade. Today we're going to talk about the sickos who love this show. The sickos like Tony Khan, man. June 12th, the sickos got all they could ask for in AEW Dynamite. Oh yeah, man. The sickos, they're full up. They got everything they were asking for. But let's talk about news and notes first, because we have to, and it's very important that we do so, because there are some really interesting things that occurred that we need to discuss. One of these things that occurred that we need to discuss is that your boy, FTR Bald, he actually came out and admitted that he's been wrestling injured, much to the chagrin of everybody else. And he has been immediately pulled from the shows. But more importantly, he got into an argument with Disco Inferno. So FTR Bald, he came out, he talked, and he said he had like a hematoma on his back or something like that. I'm not going to go through the video. I'm not going to go through this whole thing. Disco Inferno responded, quote, "You just ruined your boss's narrative that he would put their safety record up against anyone. If talent is working hurt and not telling the office, then it's not a safe work environment. Bad look, Dax." So Dax responded, as emotional as he could possibly be. I'm not going to do the voice. "I know this isn't exactly what you're looking for, but you beg for relevancy that you only got by being a punching bag your whole career. But you're a fucking idiot. If you ever worked hard enough during your little 15 minutes of fame career to ever feel any sort of pain, you know the anxiety that comes with injury to an athlete. So while you're trying to turn this into a bit for your shitty podcast, I'm hoping and praying that I don't have to go through an extensive surgery, or even worse. For being someone who claims to be so smart to our business, you probably know wrestlers have worked for decades hurt. I'm also 100% sure some wrestlers in WWE are working hurt right now. But of course you only attack AEW, anything for the clicks. If anything, this doesn't go against the, quote, safe working environment that my boss promotes. It shows how dumb we as wrestlers are to hide this information from all the upper people put in place to keep us safe. How can this be anyone's fault but mine? No one knew about the severity of my injury, and once I finally told Tony and Doc Sampson, they immediately made me take time off. Maybe one day I can be on your podcast, but only if we do it live and face to face. I'll fly myself wherever I need to meet you. Open invitation. Anyways, off to an MRI. While you'll be talking about this for a segment on your show, I'm hoping the doctors don't find out anything worse about my condition. Good day, Glenn." He threatened to fight Disco Inferno while talking about having supposedly some kind of surgery, which, those two things don't seem to make sense. I do enjoy when people dig on Disco Inferno's crappy wrestling career, because it is quite shit. And I'm starting to really hate the podcast too, by the way. I mean, these guys are eating on the podcast. They seem to be completely unorganized. They don't know whether they coming or going half the time. You click one of these videos, they're talking about, basketball or something like that for 15 minutes. It's like, that K100, boy, I'm just not feeling it these days. I'm almost to the point of unsubscribe. But Dax, emotional. He is what he is. You don't understand the anxiety of working in what of a real athlete. I'm an athlete, man. I gotta take care of my daughter. I got a family. I got a family, man. All right, well, whatever you say, brother. Did y'all notice Alicia Atout works in AEW now? Did you know that Alicia Atout is MJF's girlfriend? Interesting. I don't got nothing against Alicia Atout, but it's just very weird that if you're married to or best friends of somebody in AEW, you get a job. Hey, at least she got some kind of training, though. She did it in MLW. Another thing, people are talking about MJF making like $15 million or something silly like that. I have absolutely no doubt in my mind that did not occur. I don't think that Tony Khan is so stupid that he would go ahead and give this guy $15 million, even if it was $5 million a year for 3 years or something like that. That's still an absurd amount of money. And the likelihood that you're going to make that back is minimal. And I don't see the benefit of, doing that. So let's get into this show because I want to hurry up and get through this. Swerve Strickland is talking about Will Ospreay developing a killer instinct. And he says that he's seen over the last couple of victories that he's an assassin is involved. And he's starting to learn that killer instinct. He's an assassin. But he didn't have that killer instinct against Roderick Strong. And if he doesn't have that killer instinct when he wrestles him, well, they don't call Swerve Kill Shot for nothing. Then he is interrupted by the Elite, who offer him a chance to be on their team as they're challenging AEW to a blood and guts match. Like, what kind of feud is this? Who are they feuding with exactly? They're feuding with the company. Oh, are there specific people in the company that they're feuding with? Are they feuding with the people that they were feuding with before? It doesn't matter. Anyway, Swerve, of course, refused. They gifted him a pair of shoes, which he threw because they didn't fit. The Young Bucks wanted to beat him up. Then the Acclaimed came out to side with him, so that protected Swerve. Christopher Daniels came out there, old, dildo with a tie on. He kicked everybody out except Jack Perry because Jack Perry got to have a match against Dustin Rhodes. So he's got to stick around. And Jack Perry defeated Dustin Rhodes in a match I didn't watch. I did notice that Dustin Rhodes was bleeding, and I was like, why would you go so far to try to help this kid get over? I'll say this, though. Praise Dustin Rhodes for trying. He's trying to really help Jack Perry. He really is. And I will say this, too. Jack Perry's promos have improved. His stint in Japan, his bitterness about being suspended has really helped him. It's found passion, something intensity, two things that he did not have before. And what I mean by improved, I don't mean that he's good now. I just mean that he's better than he was. You can go from 0 to 1. You don't got to go from 0 to 60. He mostly went from like 0 to 2. Like his characterization improved dramatically from his trip from Japan. But considering he had almost no character at all before he left and no charisma at all, it helped him minimally. But he's doing okay. Now, Swerve Strickland stuck around because he wanted to watch Will Ospreay in the main event as Will Ospreay defeated Phoenix in the main event. Was there any question that he was going to beat Phoenix? No. It was all about whether he was going to tear up a knee or something, and he did not. Phoenix and Will Ospreay did high-flying moves, and that was pretty much it. After the match, Swerve Strickland yelled at Will Ospreay that he can't carry both titles at the same time. Will Ospreay then pickpocketed him and swiped his belt and put it on his shoulder. Swerve then, after getting punked out by Will Ospreay, it was like, you lucky we friends. You lucky we homeboys. Otherwise, I'll crack your head. Shut your ass up. Swerve getting punked. You a punk, Swerve. I'm not interested in this match at all. It's two baby faces. Something's got to shake. Somebody's got to do something, But this is AEW. Nothing's going to happen. Roosh defeated some kind of Jobberello. Afterwards, he put his foot on the guy's throat and started talking, which I popped for, and then he stopped doing it. I was like, oh, that's unfortunate. The long and the short of it is Roosh is now Mexican Miro. Stupid American. Weak. You're weak. American's weak. And here comes MJF. He runs to the ring and they brawl and then they get separated because MJF's a sawed-off badass, except for he had to ice his hand later because, when you're a sawed-off badass, you still have to take care of yourself. You have to, icing your hand is self-care. We got Samoa Joe and Hook backstage. This was a clip from Collision. Sorry. I wrote it down like it was new. It was a clip for Collision. They attacked those two guys, Davari and that other guy. And they beat them in a match too. And if I remember correctly, and I could possibly be wrong, Samoa Joe called us, the fans, oos in this episode. I'm not mad at you. I like it. What up, Oos? I like it. Thumbs up. I like calling Samoa Joe Oos. That's fun. Do I like watching Samoa Joe and Hook as a tag team? Actually, I don't mind that either. Him making sure that Hook, stretched was nice. Him asking about Taz and what's up with Taz in the color orange was funny too. Samoa Joe should know the answer to that question though, because they work together in TNA, so they should know. Back to the show. Mark Briscoe is a jobber. He's a world champion and a jobber at the same time. It's not possible, but somehow it is. He lost to Kyle Fletcher. Mark Briscoe teamed up with Orange Cassidy and Kyle O'Reilly to wrestle Konosuke Takeshita, Kyle Fletcher, and Roderick Strong. And Kyle Fletcher pinned Mark Briscoe. How embarrassing is that? This guy is a Ring of Honor world champion, and he's lost every time I've seen him on this television. Very unfortunate. Chris Statlander attacked Willow Nightingale from behind, and that useless little bald Goomba guy started talking. I didn't take notes, didn't care. It has something to do with some really failed jokes, which is what he does. He's an idiot. What a terrible guy that guy is. He's useless. Stokely Hathaway. He's useless. Very useless. Mercedes Moné defeated Zeuxis. Who is this girl? But Mercedes defeated her. This was just an excuse for Mercedes to do lucha. Thankfully, they did a video package for Stephanie Vacour, who is her opponent for Forbidden Door. Her English isn't very good. I couldn't tell if that was Spanish she speaks natively or Japanese. I'm pretty sure it was Spanish because she works for CMLL. I don't know whether to be excited about that match or not. I didn't see the original match, so I'm just kind of shrugging like I don't know what to take from this. They played a video package for Mina Shirakawa, and it was fun because Mina Shirakawa has charisma and personality. And basically they told me a lot more about her, that she was a model who became a wrestler, and she likes doing fun things and sexy things, and she was tag team partners with Mariah May, and she won a bunch of championships in Stardom, and she's no slouch. She's not wrestling on Dynamite where you might actually care. She's been wrestling on Rampage where nobody cares. Well, Tony is wrestling on Rampage too, so they make sure you don't give a fuck about this. So Toni Storm was petting Mariah May afterwards, and as she did her promo, and before she got to cut out a promo, Mariah May jumped up, thanked Toni Storm for entering her into the Owen Cup. She promised not to let Toni down and she was going to win it. And then she got really excited about Mina coming back next week and wants to do a contract signing. Toni was less than enthused, but she promised everything was going to work out fine. And then Toni Storm said her chin up, tits out, which apparently is a shirt now. And she's going to, I guess, wrestle on Rampage. Man, Toni Storm, this sucks. It sucks that they're doing the Mina Shirakawa Toni Storm stuff on Rampage. They should be doing it on the main show. I mean, doesn't really matter. I don't think my level of excitement would be greatly increased if it was on Dynamite. But I would think that if something your world champion is doing, you should want it to be as visible as possible. At least that's what I thought. But apparently not. Maybe I don't know what I'm talking about. Big Bill, Chris Jericho host the TV Time segment. They invite Private Party to come out. Private Party, who's been around literally forever. Probably the only guys in this company that haven't had the Jericho rub. They get the Jericho rub. Jericho yells at them, talking very, very loudly. I'm talking loudly, guys. Do you hear me, guys? Look at my hands, guys. I'm selling a t-shirt, guys. It wasn't as funny as last week. Last week was genuinely funny. This, not so much. He started telling Private Party that their basics suck. That they have to understand the basics. They need to take some advice. And since he was trained by Stu Hart 30 years ago, he's going to teach them how to do stuff off the top rope. So he gets up on the top rope. They knock him down. Then the brawl happens. They beat up the other two guys, which includes Big Bill. They beat him up. Then they take turns jumping onto Jericho from the top rope. So Jericho is going to be feuding with Private Party. This truly for the sickos. Nobody but the sickos are interested in this. Daniel Garcia defeated another Jobberello. I think this one was Nick Camarado, who is hairy in some places and not so hairy in others. What's up with that? I don't know. Pac says he feels like a bitch. He's been humiliated, but he's going to enter the Owen and win it because he needs to have his Wembley moment, and a talent of his stature must win the greatest prize in the industry. I actually like the Pac promo. I like this Pac character. I think he's hit his ceiling in AEW. He's not going any further. And it's unfortunate. He might be a guy that's probably better to jump back to WWE, because I think that there's something there with him that he can work main events. It's just, I don't think AEW is looking in his direction. Now, he's certainly going to end up with a match on the Wembley show. And I think they're doing a good job when it comes to this Owen Cup thing, because him being British and saying, I want to win the Owen Cup because it's going to be in Wembley, that's a powerful motivator. And if he was ever going to be world champion, it would probably be at a Wembley show where he would win it, even though I don't think I see that happening now. I don't see him winning the tournament. That would be silly, wouldn't it? But stranger things have happened in AEW. Mariah May winning is almost guaranteed because it'll be the cherry on top of her storyline with Toni Storm. She has to eventually usurp Toni Storm, even though we know that she just lost to Saraya. I would imagine she's probably going to beat Saraya at some point in the tournament in order to get that win back, so that when she wrestles Toni Storm, she can be a believable opponent. And then maybe Mina Shirakawa will help her win. But Mariah May turning on Toni is inevitable. Everybody knows that. The Gun Boys mocked the House of Black. I don't know why they're doing this. Everybody involved is a heel, right? Why are they mocking them? Juice Robinson is back. One of the most useless people. One of the most useless people in the world. I hate that guy. I hate that guy. I hate that guy. I hate that guy. And that's it for the show, mostly. 2 hours of nothing. There's just no excitement to this product anymore. The energy level is in the toilet. The people only seem to care about Will Ospreay, and only when he does a big spot. Like, people cared when, he did the big spot when he took the Hurricane and landed on his feet. They like that. But for the most part, they were just kind of like, on the show. Daniel Garcia is kind of over. But there's a lot of other people on this show that the fans just seem to stare at them, and there's just almost no reaction at all. I appreciate the jobber matches, though. Without these matches being 42 minutes or anything like that. You just send Daniel Garcia out there, he wins a match. You send Rush out there, he wins a match. And then that's it. Good. You don't need to be 15 minutes of back and forth action or anything crappy like that. One of the big segments was the Swerve being asked to be the fifth man for the Elite. We know it's going to be Hangman. We already know that, right? But they asked him shortly after he mocked them for never defending their titles. So is he supposed to turn on a dime and say, well, I know I was just making fun of you guys, but yeah, I'll be your partner for Blood and Guts. I'll bleed beside you guys. No, that's stupid. My thing is, if they're in a feud with specific people, they should be feuding with those people. Just saying you're feuding with the company and we're going to fight your 5 best guys. I'm like, I guess that's what's supposed to be the NWO WCW thing was about. But there were certain people who represented WCW that made it matter. Sting, Piper, for a little while, I think it was the Giant, Lex Luger, Diamond Dallas Page. There were certain people that represented WCW consistently on the roster. It wasn't just like 5 random guys here, 4 random guys there. It was consistent that these guys represented the company. They forgot to do that. And it might be these guys, the Danielsons, and well, FTR can't be them because, Mustache is gone. So I don't know what they're going to do. So I'm looking at this Forbidden Door card and I just shrug. Big old shrug, dog. It's already not an event for me. It's an event for the sickos. But I look at it now, man, I just say it's more sicko than ever. You really got to be downtrodden, down bad on the wrestling tip to be excited about this Forbidden Door. I don't see anything about this show that's going to, make me hype. I just don't care. But let me know what you guys think. Like, share, subscribe. I'll talk to you guys later. Peace.